Oh, I'm so stoked to play this game.
And know that I am your maker, and I am called Elohim. Seek me in my temple.
Elohim,
if
that's funny.
You are worthy.
Did we know that Elohim is actually a plural form in Hebrew, which is kind of funny because, you know, is God one or is God many? Yeah, a lot of stuff was ripped off from the Canaanites. Dude, this game is beautiful. I literally can't believe how beautiful this game is. So yeah, I've literally been waiting for maybe a year and a half to play this game. I heard that there was going to be a remaster coming out, and it just came out like last week or something. So here we are. It's pretty cool. Spatial awareness, okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh shit. What? You can rewind or restart? Oh, you know there's going to be some kind of punishment for rewinding, but that's what I'm going to do. What? Oh my gosh, okay. Fun. I don't know where I am, but there is something beautiful about this place. I will explore and see what I can discover. Yeah, I like that. It's true. This space feels liminal, but also ancient at the same time, which doubly makes me like it. It's like if the Backrooms was in ancient Greece or something.
All across this land, I have created trials for you to overcome. And within each, I have hidden a sigil. It is your purpose to seek these sigils, for thus you will serve the generations to come and attain eternal life.
Oh my goodness, eternal life, wow. Oh, the sigils are Tetris pieces? I guess I'll just explore all these areas until I can get one of these Tetris pieces. Or sorry, the sigils. Such a weird word for a Tetris piece. Okay, perfect. Got her out of there. Haha, now I can go over here, jam this guy, and get past, hopefully. Yay!
The shapes you are collecting are not mere toys.
Oh, really?
They are the sigils of our name.
Our name?
Each brings you closer to eternity.
Because I am the plural god Elohim. Yes.
My temple awaits you, child. Go forth.
I'm so excited to see your temple. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to this. Just some rambling. Thoughts from your old man. Don't let this stuff get you down. You're young. You've got loads of time to figure it all out. Love, Dad. Yeah, the thing about that phrase that kind of bothers me, though, is that, like, nobody's promised tomorrow, you know? And I feel like, yeah, you know, it's a decent way to look at it, right? Of like, oh yeah, you've got lots of time to figure stuff out. You're young. But also, like, maybe we don't bank on that. You know, maybe we search for truth now. Maybe we try to get answers now because nobody's promised tomorrow. Anyways, up in this glowing, shiny thing.
Step into the light, child, and my temple will be revealed to you.
Ones and zeros, I love that.
You walk now upon the stones of my temple, whence many gates lead. And know that I have other temples, for my garden is greater than your eye can encompass. And all these worlds I made for you.
Yo, what in the hell? This is Oh my god, I love this game so much. I've barely played it and I already love it. Can you imagine being like I guess like a god like this, like Elohim in this game, and what you've done was create a bunch of worlds for a robot to walk around in? It's so stupid. And then also demanding to be worshipped. Ah! Anyways, let's see what we can get from here. Yeah, isn't it just funny when you look at it that way? Like,
these worlds are yours, and you are free to walk amongst them and subdue them.
And subdue them.
But
wow.
The great tower, there you may not go. For in the day that you do, you shall surely die.
Ah, that's some Genesis 3 shit. Let's go. See if we can get some more. I wonder if it's gonna, like, stop me from advancing. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. I'm a robot. I probably shouldn't get wet. Here's the thing, though, that I like about what Elohim said. I will not guide you. I feel like games today hold your hand. And so far, I'm glad this one is not. Like, I have no idea where to go, what to do. I just have to explore, and I have to do it on my own. And honestly, that's kind of great. This feels like how games used to feel back in the day, man. So hardcore. And I absolutely adore that. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, though, you know, crying's super underrated, though. I feel like it's really good for us. And yet we hardly do it, right? That's why we're here for each other, you know? Because we're all dope people. Ten's dope, G-Soon's dope, Water's always dope, Dirty Briefs is dope. Who else has been here tonight? Aramis is dope. You're all really cool people. And so I'm glad that we can be here for each other like this. Hey, though, it is cool to feel how you feel, though, you know? And there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. There is nothing wrong with you. That's what I was going to say. And then I swallowed wrong. We feel what we feel. We are who we are, right? And sometimes people don't give us good vibes. It happens all the time in life, right? It happens to me even, and I choose to, like, I acknowledge what they're doing. You know, this isn't good energy. And then I get away from them and I make sure that the next people who have any kind of influence in my life are the people that I care about and that I love and that I hold dear. And that always helps me, right? You know, as soon as I have something like that happen to me, typically Maddie is the first person that I will consult, and it always helps, right? But yeah, genuinely glad we can be here for each other because we need that, man. Community is everything. I remember back in the day when I worked at Perkins and I was working overnight shifts there. That in combination with like the abusive relationship I was in at the time absolutely made me want to off myself every day. I thought about it every day for a while. I never attempted, right? You know, I've told you this before. It's funny, though, how the second I got out of that job and I stopped being with that person, my life immensely got better and my mental health skyrocketed. Like, beyond belief, you know? And it was because of environment. And that's why I really like Guild, the mental health organization that I just partnered with, because on top of giving out comprehensive mental health services, they also help their clients find housing in a community of their choice and employment, which is essentially, in effect, changing your environment completely, right? Or changing their client's environment completely. Yeah, it absolutely can affect your mental health. I saw some horrific stuff the other day, so I'm going to get my mind off of it and stream some Talos Principle, and we're going to have some fun in here. But first off, I can just say I am so grateful to be alive right now. Life is a gift. You never know. And yeah, I'm just very grateful to be here. It's a gorgeous day here in Minnesota. I got my windows open. I just had some coffee on my patio. It was great. Dang it. Oh, man. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to get the sigil and move on. Also, I'm a player that almost never 100% games, so it doesn't really matter to me that I didn't get that star. I don't really care. And look, I understand that if you like to 100% games, like, that's what you like, but I just don't feel the need. It doesn't really, I don't know, man. I'd rather do other things with my life. And sure, like, the sense of accomplishment must feel great. I think the last game that I 100%ed, honestly, was Metroid Prime. Oh my gosh, Zontron. Holy shit. What's up, dude? Yeah, I know, like, I never stream during the day, but now we've got all the Europeans in the chat, which, good lord, that is so
Leave this mystery
much
for
of an
another
incentive
day.
to stream at this hour because I got my European friends. Let's go, dude. And if you've ever talked to me, you know I'm not the biggest fan of America. So, yeah. This makes me really happy. Dude, also, yes, Matt, it is amazing what you can do when you appropriately utilize tax dollars. I love that. Instead of subsidizing Big Pharma and instead of subsidizing the profits of oil companies and Raytheon, why don't we teach kids about marimba? That sounds a lot better. Sorry, the US government is so weird. My European friends, I'm sure you already know this. You're literally watching it like from afar, like it's a soap opera or something. It's just insane what we do here sometimes. I don't understand it. We're very much a profits over people society. And, yeah, if I can be real with you, just real quick, literally, I don't know if, oh no, neither of you are on Facebook, my Euro friends, but the other day I went to downtown Minneapolis and I had a day to myself. I was just producing and bar hopping, and my wife got me a gift card to go get a massage. That was incredible. I literally saw somebody in the massage place that was like, oh, I recognize you. Aren't you a DJ? It was so funny and so weird, but I decided to go home at one point, and I'm waiting for the bus, and this is a little triggering, but I feel like I need to talk about it because, yeah, I wasn't ready to talk about it yesterday, but now I am. I'm waiting for the bus. I see this big group of people jaywalk across the street, and then they were at the Federal Reserve building, which is in downtown Minneapolis. It's a big bank, and yeah, they were being rambunctious and like yelling and stuff. And then I saw a group of them run the other way, and then about 2 minutes later, this group runs back. One has a backpack. I think they were fighting over the backpack. There was an altercation that happened, and then out of nowhere, I heard and saw with my eyes 2 gunshots go off, and I saw a kid hit the floor. I froze. Like, what do you do in that situation, right? I froze because I literally just saw a dude die. It was crazy. I probably shouldn't be talking about this on stream because of Twitch and their rules, but dude, it was nuts. It was horrific. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I have never felt more scared for my life, disgusted at our country, and just like weirded out at the same time. It was terrible. So I start running, and as I'm running, I see a kid run in front of me, trying to also get away. I run across the bridge, across the Mississippi River into northeast Minneapolis. I warned some people on the way, like, hey, somebody just got shot back there. You might not want to go. Like, don't proceed. Like, there is a person with a gun. Anyways, I find out later, Googling it, that this kid was 14. And I guess why I'm telling you this is because yesterday I didn't really feel like talking about it, right? And because it was horrific. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. weird isn't the right word. It was one of the most terrible things I've ever seen. Here's the deal, man. Yesterday, as I was like getting my mind off of it, I drove Uber for like 6 hours. That's what I did to get my mind off of it. And I talked to almost nobody in my car. And I typically talk to most of my passengers because I'm very extroverted and stuff. I had this thought of like, capitalism just keeps going. Like, it doesn't care. It's profits over people, man. You know? And like, but here's the deal. I don't like blame anybody for thinking that, or for, you know, just moving on. And, you know, because like, if you don't just move on, you'll lose your house because you won't be able to afford food, your rent, etc. Like, we live in a society that just doesn't care anymore. At least we do in America. I can't speak for you lucky Europeans. I know you have your issues too. Every country has their issues, but my God, it was terrible. And I don't know, that really made me reflect. Like, capitalism just keeps going because we can't take time off to freaking just reflect because we're so strapped to pay for things. And we don't want to lose our livelihoods. We don't want to lose our houses. You know, and it's just like, it's a weird society. Yeah, thanks for listening and letting me share that and process it. I've definitely already I've been inquiring about going to therapy for this because, man, I don't really know like how to process it. Like, when you see just a kid get murdered in front of you, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Yeah, anyways, but I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. It does mean a lot. No, and legit, like, soft guitar, I heard the news story on the radio the next day because my CarPlay on my car got disconnected. And so the radio turned on, and it was this jazz radio station, and they were rolling through headlines, and I heard that one, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is just insane, dude. Like, and yeah, I know that, like, you know, we only tend to really care about things when they like hit super close to home for us. Otherwise, it's just like, whatever. I don't know them. And I don't know. I'm also struggling with that because it's like, dude, no, this is like a really big problem in America. Like, when kids are shooting each other, it's messed up, man. Crap. There's a lot I'm going to have to edit out of this for trigger warnings, man. Value is discovered. It can be, but it's also intrinsic. Like, we have intrinsic value as human beings just because we're human beings. But it is also, there are things that are discovered about value. I don't know. This is worded too vaguely, so I'm going to say broadly agree. I suppose so? Oh, okay. Thanks. Appreciate you, Talos Principle. Persons deserve the talents they were born into. Ah, ha, ha. Okay. Now we're getting philosophical. I don't think they do necessarily all the time, especially if they don't steward them properly to produce good in the world. So I'm going to say broadly disagree. No. The liberty of persons ought to be maximized. Ooh, okay. This is interesting. When I've been to China like 4 times. My good friend from my EDM duo, Wade Watts, used to live there because he taught English. And we did have a discussion one time in a taxi. I remember it clear as day. And he was like, it is very interesting how united Chinese people are. And he said, there's almost something to be said about having too much freedom. And like, yeah, I mean, it really made me think, right? Do I necessarily agree? No. But it really made me think, you know, because like, obviously in that kind of a society, information is controlled, right? And there isn't as much freedom. But I think there's pros and cons to each side, right? Just as with everything in life, because life is gray, and there is a balance to be had when you have freedom, but there are some restrictions. I don't think that unabashed freedom is necessarily a good thing, because then you are in a society that could, you know, turn into lawlessness. Yeah, that's a really good question. There's no right answer to it, but good Lord. I'm just going to say agree for the sake of the fun game. Value is created. Yeah. I mean, again, like I said, we have intrinsic value as human beings just because we're human beings. And of course, that is something that we have come to as a society to grasp that, right? Because, you know, morality evolves and it's based on whichever society you're in. But there is a lot of value that is created as well. And just because this is worded very vaguely, I'm just going to say broadly agree. This is interesting. Yet neither the world nor the gods owe mankind perfection. It is arrogance itself to presume so, and contrary to all the methods of philosophy. The honest philosopher seeks only the truth with a capital T, even if it bears no comfort. And he must begin by assuming, as Socrates said, that all he knows is that he knows nothing. Okay. I dig the humbleness of this, but also there's a disconnect here because Greco-Roman gods, if you study them, they were never perfect, right? They had flaws because the human beings that made them up anthropomorphized them in such a way that they weren't perfect. But then you had this shift theologically as time went on and cultures evolved where there was this kind of perfection that was innately ascribed to gods or goddesses. Specifically, if you want to talk about Yahweh or Elohim, because the narrator in this game itself is called Elohim, there is that sense of like, no, this God is perfect, which helps you theologically differentiate ideas in your head, right? I do actually dig the Greco-Roman whole like imperfection type stuff, because I don't know, like the gods are powerful. Yes, there's something to look up to, but they're also like, oh yeah, no, like they mess up just like we do. And I think that's a really good example at the end of the day, but it's just my 2 cents. I am only a theologian, so it's fine. Yeah. I feel like that humble sort of mindset is a good thing. You know, the only thing I know is nothing. And, I'm always willing to learn. I think if we keep that kind of a mindset in life, we'll go pretty far. Talk to me. What's up? What's going on? I'm really sorry you haven't been feeling like yourself. Yeah, those days suck. Believe it or not, I have them too. And typically what I do to get out of the like funk is I just do something that I really like. And that doesn't always work right away. Like I don't always feel good right away because there is no cure-all, right? Life is gray. There should be this sense of like, we might need something in the moment that is unique, right? There is no one-size-fits-all solution for not feeling okay or not feeling like ourselves. Sometimes I just need to endure the day and I need to go to bed and I need to tell myself it's going to be okay. And then I wake up the next day and I feel fine, right? So, again, not a one-size-fits-all solution every time, but really, what happened? Did something happen at work, or was it just random? Was there like a rude customer, or I don't know. Is it the state of the world? Because I can totally understand if it's the state of the world, because the state of the world sucks. But we survive and we press on and we move through it with each other, together as a unit. Because we cannot do this alone. I'm telling you, we cannot do this alone right now. It's way too messed up. I mean, honestly, this whole week has just flown by. And I'll wake up, I'll do my things during the day, and then I'm like, what happened today? Did I even live? Like, what did I do? Like, how is it already almost 10 o'clock? Like, it blows my mind how fast time goes. I wish so badly I could have the mind of a kid again and time would go slowly. It's just stupid, dude. So in the guise of, I guess, even the Serenity Prayer, which is one thing that I do like think is pretty cool from AA. You accept the things you can't control and you do the best with the things you can control. And we can't control the state of the world right now. I wish I had billions of dollars and I could make positive change within it, but I don't. I really, really wish that was the thing, but it's not. So what do, right? We lean on each other. And I'm glad that you're being vulnerable and open, Iris, because so many people aren't. And it is something I really admire about you, is that you're always willing to be vulnerable and open and honest about how you're feeling. Never lose that, okay? We love you just the way you are. Yeah, dude, we're all feeling it. We are all feeling it. So you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. And I think the cool part about that is that you can share your thoughts with people and they will resonate with you, you know? They'll be like, oh my gosh, you know, like, yeah, I'm feeling this too. And then you can come to some sort of shared, I guess, bonding moment. I don't want to call it trauma bonding because I don't think we're quite there yet. Like, it's a weird world, but like, also, I don't want to put labels on things that are more extreme than they actually are. Yo, bestie, I got a message from you today.
Eternal life.
Hold on, I'm going to pause it. That you were feeling a little down. I got a message from Iris as well. Same thing. I got a message from a couple other people too. There's something happening right now collectively within us. I think we're just tired. Like, something crazy happens every day and we're just tired, you know? So, I don't know. I encourage you in the chat to just, like, talk it out. Like, I'll be here, I'll be playing, but of course I'll be reading, I'll be watching.
But know that eternity,
because yeah, shit's weird. Anyways, know that eternity may only attain by those who serve a greater purpose than themselves. Okay, cool. I like that.
All else is decay.
All else is decay.
So it was written in the hidden words before the beginning of time.
Oh, I like that. Finally, Elohim says something fucking worthwhile. If I heard that correctly, only serving yourself is decay. But if you serve others, that's not decay. And I like that. I agree with that. I really do. You know, here's the deal, though. It's like, with what you said in the chat, G-Soon, it's impossible to be there for everybody all the time, right? But you're here now, and that's what matters. You know what I mean? Like, we're all here for each other right now. That's what matters. And I just hope you don't beat yourself up, because you both are incredible people in your own incredibly awesome and unique ways. And yeah, I just hope that you don't get too discouraged. You know, we're finally like doing studies about this as a society and realizing like, oh yeah, maybe we shouldn't be doom scrolling all the time. Maybe it is really fucking bad for us. And yeah, like, I'll literally be the first person to tell you that anytime I do a social media fast, my productivity goes through the roof. But like in a good way. Not in a way of like, not in a way of like, oh yeah, I'm just being a cog in the machine now and I'm way more productive. I'm like, no, like, I actually have mental like capacity to like do things in life that are meaningful. Whereas like if we're doom scrolling, we're taking in so much information that we literally don't have the capacity for any more unless we rest our brains through like sleep or meditation or some other activity. And so we don't have space to even think about doing other things. And like, I really wish I knew some like scientific studies to like back that up. I'm sure they're out there. I can't like regurgitate them right now on Twitch, but that's literally what happens. And we need to be very, very cognizant of that, because if we're not, like, bro, I'm telling you, like, it's going to be so detrimental for us all. And it's really funny how literally all of this is just to like see ads. It's like, what the fuck? I remember back in my old life, I had a solo career. I was known as Matthew J. Bentley back in the day. LOL, just my name. And I was also in a DJ duo with this person who I will not mention their name, because they were not really a nice person, and they gave me an ultimatum, and they said, hey, if you want to do this, like, I need you to give up your solo career because I need you to focus on what we're doing. And I did it. I gave up my solo career, and it's something I've always regretted. But through the drama that ensued, when I finally had enough of that duo, that's where theology was born. So, beauty from the ashes, if you will, right? Like, I wouldn't be the same if that didn't happen. And, you know, I feel like both of you being so new and fresh in these journeys is a really exciting thing. It's a really, really exciting time for y'all. And I'm excited for you because the potential to do something really just dope and cool is off the charts right now. So harness that potential and do something cool. Yeah, that's the other thing too, 10, is like, if you're not having fun, then don't do it anymore. Or like pivot to where you are having fun, right? Because like, man, my days in mainstream EDM, like, I was so beat down by gatekeepers that I also wasn't having fun anymore. And then I was like, no, I'm gonna have fun instead, and I'm gonna remix video game music like a nerd, and it's gonna be awesome. And it is awesome. Of course, I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know this journey would be so cool, but yeah, I pivoted because I wasn't having fun anymore, and you need to have fun in anything that you're doing because it's so freaking important. Yo, what is up? Welcome back to Video Games and Mental Health Live. Except today, we're not exactly live, are we? Oh, I guess how could you know that? Well, first off, there's no chat going, you'll notice that. I'm only recording this, I'm not streaming it. Why? Because a few reasons. Alright, check it out. So, I kind of just want to be alone tonight. You know, I want to be alone. I need to recharge. My life doesn't always have to be a performance, a show. You know, it's kind of hypocritical because I'm recording this and I'm definitely going to put it on YouTube later, but there is going to be a different vibe when I'm just playing it to play it instead of having a chat going on at the same time. I've been pretty bogged down by the world lately, to be honest. It just seems like it keeps getting worse and worse and worse with no end in sight, and you know, in September when I post this, I think it's September. Yeah, in September when I post this, you know, I'm hoping things have gotten a little better, slightly, but we'll see. Because, my goodness, it seems like literally every institution that exists right now is literally just out to get us. And I'm not gonna lie, it's getting a little old. Like, I'm a little sick of it. Like, does anybody want good in this world anymore? Like, I don't get it, man. It's just so stupid, and it blows my mind. So anyways, I'm taking the night off. I canceled my plans tonight because I just needed a night for me to do me, to have fun. And you know what makes me happy? Creating. Right? So I'm still creating by having this going on, but I'm not performing. No chat. This isn't being live streamed. So I'm just going to play the Talos Principle, and I'm going to have a fun time. Because I can. Because I deserve it. Because I work really fucking hard. Every second of my life, almost. You know, if I'm not doing music, I'm doing something in the biz, or I'm filming content, or I'm editing, or I'm doing podcasts for people, or I'm talking to people about, you know, what's going on in their lives and mental health, and I'm going to meetings, and people want to hang out with me, so I do everything that I can. I drop everything that I can so that I can be there for people in every capacity, right? Because my heart is huge for that, and that's what I want to do, right? I'm not complaining about this. My friend David recently said, don't complain about having a full plate when you ask to eat. And I love that because it just encompasses everything in this, right? Like, I asked to eat, so I'm not complaining about my full plate, but what I am saying is that even people like me who have this weird, crazy, exuberant amount of energy, we also need to recharge. Right? Like, it's on the flip side of like me being like, yeah, if you're introverted, I don't care how introverted you are, you still need to find community because we're a social species, right? And then I'm at the other end where I'm like, nah, I'm gonna do all the things and see all the people and go to all the parties and do all the things and be on all the time. I need to shut off sometimes. And I'm coming to terms with this every single day that I exist. It's not a performance, you know? I'm just going to be truly authentically myself. And if that's not good enough, then go follow somebody else on the internet. There's billions of people, dude. Because you know what? Video games and mental health live. But sometimes it's not live because you just need to introspect and hang out by yourself. So let this be a lesson for anybody who's like me and feels like they always have to be on all of the time. You don't have to be on all of the time. That's bad for you. Don't do it.
In the time of your ancestors, there were those who did not choose the path of faith. You do not need to fear their ghosts.
Bull, that sent a chill up my spine.
You may become like them.
You know what, Elohim? Eat a dick. What have I unlocked? What have I unlocked? Oh my god, is that a fan in a desktop computer? See, here's the thing. I love this game because it doesn't hold your hand. It's awesome. I think that's really, really cool. And the puzzles have been very fun and unique and really cool to solve, but I don't know. There are some points where I'm just like, I don't know, a tutorial would be nice. Like, what is the fan? What does it do? Where is it going to be? I have no idea. Like, but I would rather a game not hold my hand and I have to look it up online if I can't figure it out than for a game to be so fucking easy that it's just like a walk in the park. You know? Like, it's way more fun when you have no idea what to do and you have to figure it out and actually, like, you know, use your brain to solve a complex challenge. I don't know, at least that's the way I see it. But whatever, who cares about my opinion? I'm just some freaking relatively unknown person on the internet, so that's fun. We're gonna grab the keys. I also love how some of the challenges in this game are like so hard, and then some are, you know, relatively like straightforward and, you know, not crazy complex, but they're still doable, right? It makes the game more fun, I think. Anywho, cheers. I did this incredible Uber ride today where the dude was like, hey bro, you should bring me to a liquor store afterwards, I'll tip you. And I was like, yeah, people say that. And he's like, no, I got you. And he Zelled me $20. And I was like, all right, bro, where you want to go? So I dropped off his coworkers, and then we swung over to a liquor store, and he got me a Voodoo Ranger. Hashtag Daddy Beer. Sorry about all the things that happened to your warehouse. I hope you will sponsor the video game music community once more. But cheers to you. Yeah, I'll be real with you. I feel like I've been teetering on the edge of burnout lately because my time is demanded so much, and it just feels really good to stay in control of that sometimes and be like, no, I'm going to cancel plans and I'm going to have a night to myself because I can. But there has to be a balance, right? Because I don't want to do this all the time. Then I would just be a shut-in. And that's not how I like to live my life, you know? If you like to live your life that way, great. That's your life, not mine. But me personally, I don't want to be a shut-in. You know, I want people to keep inviting me to things. And, you know, I'm always honored when they do, and I always say thank you for inviting me. But tonight's just not going to work. Whole lot of jamming. Okay. The only thing that really pisses me off is when I do tell somebody, yeah, like, no, I gotta take care of myself tonight, and they're like there's some kind of retaliation in their response. That always really pisses me off, because it's like, dude, I'm being vulnerable and letting you know that, like, I need to take care of myself or I'm gonna, like, explode, and it's just not taken seriously. Like, that energy is always pretty shitty, and I don't like it. There's an Immanuel Kant quote here. Or Immanuel Kant, if you will. And yeah, actually, I kind of dig this. Reason in a creature is a faculty for extending the rules and purposes of the use of its powers far beyond natural instinct, and knows no limits in its designs, yet it does not act according to instinct, but requires trials, practice, and instruction in order to progress from one degree of insight to the next. And, you know, I was thinking about this a lot today, where, just as happened earlier in this game, humans love puzzles, right? We love overcoming challenges. I feel like the reason why so many people have a desire to live an easy life where there's not much work and all they do is relax, and they never work. I think that's because a lot of humans are at such a far end of the spectrum where they're being abused every day by late stage capitalism. And I'm dead serious here. They're being so overworked and they're so tired that all they can imagine is the complete polar opposite of that. But when you do get to a point in your life where you kind of can do what you want and you can kind of forge your own path and your own destiny, having a life of only leisure without any struggle or anything to overcome is boring. And that's why, like, in the Bible, the book of Ecclesiastes, I feel like, is the most relevant book in the entire Bible, because Koheleth, or the person who wrote the book of Ecclesiastes, as it is, I mean, he's called the teacher in English translations, but literally he says everything is meaningless. Okay, when I grew up, there was this understanding that Solomon wrote Ecclesiastes just under a pen name. And because Solomon had all these riches and, he basically made it, if you will, in his life. Because of that, he is on this, not this end of the spectrum, but this end, where it's just like, he can kind of do whatever he wants. And he got to this point where he said, everything is meaningless. Everything is meaningless under the sun. And I don't know, man, I've been thinking a lot about that lately, how everything is meaningless. And it's super interesting because if we don't create our own purpose, which it's up to us, we create our own purpose in life. I will die on that hill. If we don't do that, yeah, we will be abused by the powers that be, and we will be in these strains of existence where life is tough and feels pointless. We need some kind of struggle to overcome. And we do need moments of rest. We need both. But our society is so binary and so polarizing these days that people just want one or the other, I feel like. And I don't get that, man. I mean, if you're over on this end of the spectrum and you can live a life of leisure and, like, you don't have to work to survive, give back to the world. Like, what are you doing, man? Come on. Don't hoard it all. And if you're over here being so abused by the late stage capitalist system, man, I'm telling you, like, you have to somehow forge your own destiny. And I don't know what that looks like. It could take years, right? But the little choices you make each and every day, they'll put you on that path to overcoming. It could take a long time, Like, even with me, it didn't happen overnight. Like, it took me 18 years to become a successful DJ. 18 years I have worked at this. I didn't give up. I had so many times where I wanted to, but I didn't. And that's the important part. You gotta persevere. Look, the world is very against people right now. Or I should say the powers that be in the world are very against people. They're not really doing much to make life good for normal people like you and I. They're just making it good for themselves when they're on top because they're in cahoots with billionaires and people who have so much wealth. I'm not talking about the average person with wealth. I'm talking about people who can, like, change society because they have that much money. They're all in cahoots. And I don't know why those kinds of people don't want to make things better for the rest of society. It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, here we are. It's funny. They could give away 95% of their wealth, right? People that have that much money, and they could still have so much money that they couldn't spend it in an entire lifetime. Like, they would be fine. They would be completely fine. But here we are. So, anyways, point being, I am really sorry, and I feel for you if you are being just beat up right now by our society. It sucks. I've been there. Okay? Persevere. Don't give up. And if you are on the other end of the spectrum where you are living a life of leisure because you made good choices in life or you got lucky, whatever it may be, if that's where you are in life right now, give back. Give back to society. You're going to be so much happier if you do. It's a fact. Being generous makes you into a happier person. You'll feel so much better. The change obviously isn't as simple as that we need in society, but if we start there, I think we'll be moving along towards a trajectory that will lead us to a really good place. What if every time I messed up, I was like, ah, shucks. Ah, shucks. Ah, shucks. Oh, wow. Would you look at that? A Go Live notification. I wonder who's on. Oh, theology. Whoa, I know him. Oh, boy.
Ages have passed since the first words were spoken in the darkness.
IXI Wolverine.
Initiate program.
Gotta love bots.
Generations of your kind have come and gone since those words.
And it's funny because Zoe doesn't moderate these, obviously.
Many times.
And I don't even know how to boot people. But
I remain.
Yeah.
Only within me can
Streamboo.com. Boy. I love how the bot even put like a B and an E with things on it so that like the words don't get like blocked. That's so funny, the like lengths that scammers are going to these days to like make money because they want the easy way out. But why do you want the easy way out? Like, if your life was super easy all of the time, literally, like, you would just create your own drama because, like, human beings at the end of the day want some kind of struggle in life. Like, we want some kind of thing to overcome, We don't want it to be too hard, obviously, and I get that. I don't want it to be too hard either. But we don't, like, if also, like, our life is just so easy that nothing happens, that's not fun either, right? And isn't that a weird way to think about shit, right? But it's true. Otherwise, everything is kind of meaningless. And if you don't have some kind of struggle to overcome, like, humans love to overcome things. We love to overcome challenges, to solve puzzles. That's what this whole game is about. Every time I get one of these sigils, it feels amazing, right? So, like, I don't understand how people just want this, like, they have this ideal of life being like, yeah, once I, make enough money, life will be easy. It's like, no, it probably won't be, dude. And even if it is, like, why would you want to live such a boring life? You need some kind of something to overcome at some point, or like some kind of work to do, but not to be overworked, right? Life is about balance. Nobody sees it that way though these days. It's all just binary. It's like left or right, Democrat, Republican, blue, red. Like, stop it. And yeah, it's Pride weekend. And if anybody has shown us that, it's the LGBTQAI community, because it's like, this beautiful spectrum of diversity that they have is incredible. And I think that's why I've like connected a lot lately with like the queer and the trans community, is because I don't see life as black and white or like binary either. And I really like fuck with it when people are like, yeah, I don't see life that way either. In fact, I so much don't see it that way that like I'm being true to myself and who I am. I'm not going to fit into society's left or right binary molds, and I love that. I think it's super cool and super honorable if you are that way, to be honest with yourself and to live your truth, right? Like, I'm not that way. I am straight. I am heterosexual. I understand that. That's who I am. But because I have that kind of, I guess, privilege, support those who don't have that kind of privilege yet. It's really not hard. If you have privilege, use it for good. The end, period, amen. Let's keep going.
You have learned much and shown great wisdom in these trials. The end of your journey lies close now. Do not falter, do not fear, and do not give in to temptation.
Oh, okay. Everything is in entropy. Everything tends toward disorder. And those are some laws of the universe that are, I don't know, I can't explain it. You could explain it scientifically, but then again, it's like, why? Why is all of this here? Why does all of it exist? I don't know. And to claim you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you have the answers to it, I think you're dumb. And if you claim beyond a shadow of a doubt that answers to it will never be discovered, I also think you're dumb. You have to keep up the possibility of both options. Because you never know. You never know. And that's not an excuse to be complacent either. But it is a call to say that you don't know, and because you don't know, to treat everybody with love, kindness, respect, and dignity. These are the principles I live by, and they've served me pretty decently so far. Today's gonna be the day, hopefully, that I beat the Talos Principle. Well, I pack my days because I have a lot of lovely people in my life that ask for my time, and I say yes because I love them. So, anyways. Alright. Dead Man's Switch. What do we got here? I think this is honestly the last sigil I need to get. Oh, weird. This is like a whole fortress. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. This is weird. I like it. This is a toughie. I'm gonna ask for help from the old internet, because sometimes you should ask for help. This is Video Games and Mental Health Live, after all. If you need help, do not be afraid to ask for it. Yeah, it's fun to complete challenges on your own. It's fun to do that, but sometimes we need that extra oomph to set us over the finish line, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, this game is so, like, crazy precise sometimes with placement of these objects. Like, it has to be, like, so freaking precise sometimes. Now, let's see if we can do it. So you're supposed to place it back here. Yeah. That was dumb of me. I should have known. Oh, but I do know this. So I was at Pride the other day, and my shift at the 2D-Con booth had just ended, and so I was walking to my car, and I walked by a booth that said Jazz for Mayor, and I was like, there's only one Jazz. So I walk up to them, and I'm like, as in Jazz Hampton? They're like, yeah, how do you know Jazz? And I was like, dude, I used to play in basketball against him. I went to Richfield. I had anger issues as a kid, and I definitely tackled him on the basketball court one time, and they were like, oh. But yeah, I took a pin. It's just so funny that, like, people we went to high school with are now, like, able to run for mayor. It's freaking wild, dude. I don't know what his platform is. I want to say, like, oh yeah, he's got my vote just because I know him, but, like, what if he has a shitty platform? Then I'm not gonna vote for him, you know? Like, it's like, I doubt he does have a shitty platform, but you never know, bro. Anyways, okay, I think that's it. I think that I can win the point.
So it is done.
It is done.
You have overcome each trial that I set before you. You have shown faith and wisdom and perseverance. Therefore I judge you worthy, and I say unto you, come to the gates of eternity, where you shall be granted everlasting life.
How much you want to bet it's a trap? Oh man, one more little shindig with the AI, baby. It's funny because I deleted the source code of the AI in the last time that I played. Oh, so you have to. Okay. Got it. You will now be prepared for ascension into eternity. Please stand by. Because I was a robot and I found Tetris pieces. Like, that's it.
Rejoice, my child, as you leave this world behind. For all that you accomplished shall be passed on to your generations. In this land they shall thrive, and you shall be remembered as the beloved servant of Elohim. And so death shall have no dominion over you. Be well, my child.
Child program independence check failed. Because I know that there's another ending where you can, like, climb the tower that Elohim tells you not to climb in the beginning. And I guess when I was trying to mess with the AI, it didn't give me the, I guess, choose your own adventure bullshit towards climbing the tower. I thought I was going to be presented with a choice at the end of either climbing the tower or getting eternal life, but I guess not. Oh wait, here we go. Okay. So maybe I thought I won, but I didn't. Wait, this is where you start the game.
Behold, child, you are risen from the dust, and you walk in my garden. Hear now my voice, and know that I am your maker, and I am called Elohim.
What in the hell?
Seek me in my temple, if you are worthy.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna seek this out, because what if this is just some weird time loop thing? Hold on.
All across this land, I have created trials for you to overcome. And within each, I have hidden a sigil. It is your purpose to seek these sigils.
Oh,
for
that's
thus you
funny.
will serve the generations to come and attain eternal life.
Seriously, that's it? And it was all because I didn't talk to the AI effectively enough. That's super funny. I know that none of us have the capacity to actually know.
May harm you,
but I'm curious if, like, yeah, what if time is that way?
And they challenge you only so that your faith
That would be
might
freaking mind-blowing, dude. Like, absolutely mind-blowing. If we just regenerated. Like, what if we just lived our life over and over and over again? It'd be nuts. I'm gonna get to the temple,
you are collecting are not
and
mere
literally,
toys.
if it's the same shit,
are
I'm
the
just gonna quit the
sigils of
game,
our
because I don't
name.
really care enough.
Each
I got
brings
my
you closer
video of
to
content that I
eternity.
need through all my times playing this. So we're Gucci. Wow, I think, yeah, it's just running me through the game again.
Step into the light, child.
Eat a
And
bud.
my temple, know that I have other temples, for my garden is greater than your eye can encompass. And all these worlds I made for you.
Wow. Okay, well, yep. Alright. There's the Talos Principle. We're done. I think some of the biggest takeaways from that are, A, humans need some kind of struggle to overcome. It can't all be bliss. We don't actually like that. We think that that's the ideal, but then we sometimes can get there and we realize that it feels pretty meaningless. So if you're going through something, if you're struggling, stay strong, because when you overcome it, it's going to feel dope. And also, it's okay to ask for help. You can lean on us. Anytime I couldn't solve one of these puzzles, I looked it up, which is akin to asking for help. Sometimes you have to do it. Yes, did beating that game feel great? Of course it did. You know, I still did the things to accomplish it on my own. Just because I asked for help doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. Those are my takeaways from this. Honestly, it didn't get really as theological as I thought it would. It did get pretty philosophical. Those are the takeaways. And so, yeah, with that, I think I've shot what I need to shoot. So, yeah, that was fun. See you in the next one.